Welcome to my mess. This is take two. I had my first camera failure. My phone recorded everything, and then when I hit stop, it kind of got into some sort of a weird state where it, I don't know, was baffled by something I had done, and decided that it was not going to save the 10-minute video I just recorded. So that can happen. And I am willing to accept that can happen. I'm not gonna, it's not like I just painted the Mona Lisa, or La Joconde. So yeah, there's that. Most of my previous video was taken up talking about my front door, because tonight I had a task that got sprung on me when the front door latch, the external side, bloody well fell off. And I looked at it, and I had a few months back, I had disassembled the whole thing and lubricated it because it was getting hard to open. The thumb release thing wasn't, the mechanics were just not moving smoothly enough to actually open the door. They were just kind of hanging there, and you had to shake the door to get it to open. And it was a trick that the kids couldn't master. So I decided that I would lube it up, and I did, and got the door working again, and it was working smoothly and great. And apparently something about lubricating it maybe made it work too well, and this time a piece of the mechanism just snapped right clean off. There was a rough metal break from fatigue, I assume. Whether that's because this was an 8-ish year old cheap doorknob mechanism, or if it was the extra forces because everything was in perfectly lubed condition now. I don't know, but it, for whatever reason, fell apart. So I had to rush out before tonight and get a replacement, and I was astounded at how much more expensive. I didn't remember this kind of package, which is, deadbolt, big front door handle with a thumb release, that whole thing, which I know had picked up at, I don't remember where we would have bought that, but I'm betting it was Home Depot. I'm trying to remember if Home Depot existed when I bought that. We didn't have one for a really long time. But anyway, the ones that were on the shelf now were $140, $150. I was like, I didn't want to spend that tonight. Sometimes you can get away with something for a little while just because, like, man, this is a wrong time to be spending this money, so I'm not going to do it. So I picked up just a knob. It's not even a knob, it's one of those arm type latches that the style is more ADA compliant, but also much easier for kids to open than a doorknob, which you have to do this. And believe me, when I hurt my arms, it was really nice having those flip things, because that made it so that I didn't have to do this motion, which was a painful thing for me to do. Doing this when you have a break in this bone right here, man, you do not want to do that. So so anyway, I just bought one of those for $35 and put it on. It works. It gives us an extra lock for right now, and I can reuse it once we've decided, what the front door entry. The one we bought, oddly enough, the first time, the styling on it had like a dome on the top and a dome, a plate and a dome around on the top and the bottom of the deadbolt. And if you put the two domes in the same place, so there was no space in between, and actually they were laying on top of each other, so you couldn't tighten the mechanisms together because they're two separate pieces. So I ended up having to turn the deadbolt one, and it looks all goofy, but I had to turn it about 45 degrees so that there was a divot, an internal divot, where the dome on the bottom on the latch plate would go into, and they weren't touching then. So I'm thinking that this time I want to, since we're thinking of selling the place, I want to put one that doesn't have that goofy ass doorknob thing, all tilted, or the deadbolt tilted. So this one is a temporary fix. It's just good enough for now, and then I'll find one that actually fits, and then we'll go from there. I can reuse this one in an inside door, honestly, or even at our next place or whatever. But it's not bad to have a spare around, and it's not all that gosh awful expensive. So then I actually got a call. I've gotten a couple calls today. I have an uncle who is not doing well, had a heart attack or some other catastrophic event, and is in medically induced coma. And what people are saying, they don't expect him to come out. And at the same time, my younger brother, my half brother, his wife had his first boy, after 4 girls, from 2 different marriages. So yeah, that's, and he's, the boy was 3 weeks early, so he's a little small. So there's some stuff going on in the background, family stuff, and that always, even when you're distant like I am, I'm not in the area. There's not a whole lot I can do beyond, do magic brainwaves in their direction. But still, it kind of weighs on me, and a lot of it just circles around back to the whole reason why I'm doing this video, these videos, these vlogs of mine, is, I am counting the days that I have left. You get one shot at this game, unless the reincarnationists are correct, or there's some other mechanism by which you get recycled. The you that is you gets one shot, and that when the clock is ticking, when you're young, the clock's not really ticking yet most of the time, and as you get older, the clock is ticking, and so many things in your life take time away from the things that are really important. For me, the things that are really important is my nuclear family, my extended family when I'm able, and hoping that I leave good memories behind. So if something happens to me tomorrow, if I don't wake up in the morning, there are at least these videos out there. And no, I'm nowhere near, I don't expect to go anywhere for decades. But still, stranger things have happened. I've known people once removed that went to bed with a headache and didn't get up. That can happen, and it can happen to the healthy, not just the fat old guys like me. It can happen to the joggers, the thin, healthy eating, vegan, whatever, health masters. They can just up and die. Anybody can, when you're up, you're up. So I just, it reinforces that, we've got a limited amount of time, so let's use it. Let's use it for something that we want to use it for. Let's stop using so much of it for things we can't stand. when I say we, I mean me. Because I'm talking to myself. So, anyway. Okay, let's see if this one survives the act of stopping the video. Hopefully, I'll see you next time.